Tough luck, Carlitos. How do you assess your performance today and Casper's as well?
Well, I could be better on court. I didn't feel well on court. Doesn't matter, the times that I beat Casper, but Casper is a really uncomfortable player to play with. And yeah, I think he did a really good work today. But talking about myself, I could just be better. I could play better, and obviously I could feel better on court as well.
Hello, Carlos. Uh, Obviously, you're excellent on clay, grass, hard court, but what makes it difficult for you in indoor? Not talking specifically about this match, but in a global way.
Well, I have no experience playing on indoor courts. I could practice a lot, on indoor courts, but I have not matches in my bag, in on indoor courts. So I don't know. I have to be better on this on this part of the year that I will play on indoor courts. I don't know. I'll be a really good player on indoor court. I'm sure about it. But I think it's about time, about getting experience, getting matches in my bag. Here on indoor courts, I don't feel that I'm a bad player on indoors. Probably I'm gonna say a lot of players are better than me, on indoor court. But I don't know. I can't answer as good as I wanted, to this question.
Hello, Carlos. Yeah. Daniil Medvedev yesterday said that he was really tired mentally at the end of the season. Do you feel the same now because the end of the season, a lot of matches, or you have a full energy now?
I dare to say that every player are tired mentally. If someone says that he's fresh, he's lying. But some players deal with it, better than others. I'm tired. I'm tired mentally. That obviously a lot of matches. Really really tight schedule. Really demanding year. It's with not too many. Not too many days off, not too many period of you could rest, you could practice at home. It's kind of you finish 1 week or you finish a swing and you only have 2 or 3 days off, and then you have to go to other tournaments, to other part of the world. So since the beginning of the year, you're accumulating hours, days, and you come into this part of the year tired. So I have to, as I said many times, I think this year I'm much better than last year, but I have to find the way to performance and deliver a good tennis, being tired mentally.
Hi, Carlos. You said you weren't feeling well on the court. Were you feeling physically okay on the court? And how does this sort of set you up, do you think, for the rest of the week?
Well, few days before coming here, I got sick, at home, and yeah, the days that I was practicing here, I was feeling okay, not pretty good, but okay. I could play. I could feel, that I can get into the rallies. In the practice, obviously in the matches it's totally different. But today I didn't feel well. In this morning, I feel uncomfortable, in the stomach, and I couldn't, after long rallies today, I couldn't feel well. So I don't want to, say because I don't want to sound like an excuse, but if I feel bad, I feel bad. But it was what happened. What happened today?
Hey, Carlitos. Towards the end of the season, it seems like you made some small changes to your backhand preparation. So I was wondering if you and your team were trying something new because of the indoor season and the faster surfaces, and is it tough to make changes when you're already so successful? on tour?
That's a good eye. I don't know. I mean, I'm a player who makes changes without working on. You know, I didn't speak to Juan Carlos. I didn't speak to anyone else. I just, started to feel comfortable doing it, or without thinking, I just did it a little bit different, and it started to feel well. I don't know. It was in the Asian swing, for example, Beijing. I started, or in the Davis Cup, I started to do it a little bit different. The preparation, I feel it great. So it's kind of I don't know. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I do changes without practicing at all. I don't know if I'll practice it, I'll change it. In the precision, I'll do a little bit different. But yeah, it's pretty difficult when you don't have time to do something different between tournaments, because you don't have time. But yeah, I did it a little bit different.
Casper, well done. What part of your game pleased you the most today?
I think was serving and returning quite well, which is really important on this surface. The serve has been something that I've been struggling a bit with the last weeks, so I'm happy it worked better today. And my return, I was able to make some really good returns when I really needed to during close returning games and break points, so I was happy with that.
Hi Casper, congrats to your win. Can you maybe outline your expectations when you just go into this tournament? What kind of goals you had?
Yeah, for me this year I'm coming into the tournament with probably the least confidence of all the players in terms of match wins and my recent form, especially on the indoor hard court. Has not been easy to find match wins at all for me, so I was been joking saying that maybe I can save them all for this week, so at least I won today. So yeah, I'm not full of confidence, and I think that's been showing in the last weeks, but a match like today might be able to change it. And we're at the end of the season, so there are not going to be that many more tournaments coming up, but if I can finish on a strong note here, I'm going to be really happy. And you need to bring your A game. That's been the goal. If you don't bring your A game against these players, might as well pack your bag and call it the season.
Hey, Casper, well done today.
Thank you.
I'm curious, when you're playing Carlos or even Yannick, do they feel like the younger players, and where do you put yourself in sort of generationally with tennis these days? Obviously, no one's in Novak's generation, but
Yeah.
where do you slot yourself in, and how do you see the landscape?
Well, I divide it into almost like in two almost, because you have from Medvedev to anyone between kind of him and Khachanov down to let's say Deminar or his age, which is 99, so between 96 and 99 year. There's a lot of players who were born during those years and are doing good and are in the top 10. You have Daniil, obviously, Sasha, myself, Steph, Deminar, and Rublev, and yeah, there's a bunch of us. And then you have Yannick and Carlos are even younger. And Yannick is 2002 or 1? He's born 2001. And Carlos 2003? Yeah, so those guys are, I guess, younger, but they have done better than let's say the 90s kids, or whatever you want to call, or I want to call them, already at their career. So, I mean, just all creds to them. I mean, they have been this year almost in a league of their own, but they're also human. I mean, and they will lose matches, just not that many during a year. And if you can beat them, you're going to have to play really well. And I think it's really fun to watch them play, both when they play each other, but also any other match they play. I like to watch them, and I think they're great for the sport.
Casper, over here, back here.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, having been such a big fan of Rafa, will you go to Malaga to watch next week? And can you put into words what Rafa's retirement will mean for the sport in general?
Yeah, I won't go. I've played and seen enough tennis during the year, so I'll watch it probably on TV, but hopefully on the beach, quiet and just relax. But I think it was inevitable that obviously with Roger, him, Andy, and then Novak kind of being the last of those guys who will retire at some point. But kind of, I think Novak said it well during the Saudi tournament. Like just please don't retire yet, because like he has so many fans around the world, and even among the players, it's kind of one match that showed it quite clearly to me was during the Roland Garros this year. There were a lot of players that came out to watch Rafa Zverev, and typically you don't have like Swiatek, Novak, Carlos, everyone coming out to watch like a first round of a slam, but when it's Rafa, it's different. And I caught me a little bit by surprise that he announced it, because I was maybe thinking he would give it one more try during the clay next year. But at the same time, I know he's been struggling with a lot of pains and injuries, and it just tears you also down mentally. So at some point, you call it a day, and I think it will be a nice finish for him. It's going to be sad, and there will be some tears, obviously. And as a big fan myself, I hope they make it to the final, and that you get to watch him at least for a few more days. And I hope he has the kind of retirement that he deserves. And I know he's. I just owe him the best for the next.
Hey Casper, congrats.
Thanks.
Yesterday Daniel was talking about the change in balls on tour, and it's made things a bit challenging for him. Some other players have commented on it as well. I was wondering if you've noticed any new trend in the balls and whether that suits your particular game style or not.
The thing with the balls is, for me, how I look at it, it's each tournament has the right and possibility to have whatever ball they want to play with, which sometimes can be an issue. And I understand if you have a stretch of 4 tournaments in the same continent and they all use 4 different balls, it can be difficult and challenging. But at the same time, you have certain players, they like the ATP Dunlop ball. Some players, they prefer the Wilson ball. Some players, they prefer the Technifiber ball. So if you just stick to one ball, it'll be like, in a way, a bit unfair for whoever likes a Technifiber ball, and it will give less chances to a guy who prefers a Wilson ball over a Dunlop ball. So in a way, it's the beauty of the game, and I think it's nice because you'll have different winners. Because personally, let's say I don't really like the pen ball, and I can say it out loud. Luckily for me, it's only used in Indian Wells, but it's not like I don't need the Indian Wells to change the balls, because I think if whoever likes pen ball, good for them. When they come to clay and a Dunlop ball, I'll prefer it, and maybe a player doesn't like that ball. So for me, it's more it's challenging, and I feel also on indoor hard court when it's rough and kind of grainy on top, they fluff up a little too much. So it's difficult because you have all the players kind of ripping the ball these days, and the balls just don't last maybe the way that they maybe used to do, or with kind of slicker courts. So I understand, and I get also think the balls, they get a bit too fluffy and big at times, but different ball, it kind of gives the opportunity for different and other more players kind of having potentially a good week and liking that particular ball. So let's see what happens in the future. I think there maybe needs to be somewhat more consistency with the balls, but at the same time, I think it also leads to more opportunities when you have different balls at different tournaments.
Casper, when you consider your record against Alcaraz, that you'd won 1 set out of the 4 previous matches, how do you go into a match like today, and what do you think specifically? I mean, I know you said you were served well, etc., but was there anything specific, maybe mindset or whatever, that got you over the line this time?
Well, I think it helped getting a good start already in the first game I was facing break points in my serve, so kind of good for me that he didn't start off with a break. And then I was able to keep it. I won most of the close games in the first set, kind of all of them, and I saved a lot of break points. And with Carlos, it's like so difficult to play him because you know that he has the potential to hit any shot, and any given point he can just play like a ridiculous point. And then luckily for me today, a little bit more often than not, he also did some unforced errors. And particularly in the last game, I remember when I was serving for it, it was kind of like I won the first point with an ace. Next point he hits a beautiful backhand winner, and then next point is a backhand unforced error, and then next point I think is a volley winner. So it's like it's on and off, and when he's on and when he doesn't do the unforced error, it's almost unplayable, at least in my eyes, because he's just everywhere and makes you suffer if you don't hit like basically the line. So luckily for me, he snuck in some unforced errors, and the game plan was to be as aggressive as I can, but it's not the nature of my game. So I'm hesitating a little bit when I need to be too aggressive, but I'm trying, and serve and returning well on the break points just helped me out today a lot.